Hi everyone, it is April from Getting Hooga With It. Today I'm here to share with you the picks for the October Patreon book club. So if you don't know, I've got a little Patreon page, and in that Patreon page I've got a little book club, and it's wonderful. It's filled with just the most wonderful women, and it's really nice. We recently read and discussed the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires together. Every quarter we do a Zoom chat, and we had our Zoom chat recently, and it was really fun and so enlightening to hear everyone's opinions on this horror book. It was really fun. For September, we are going to be reading Americanah together, and I'm going to do a very spoiler-filled vlog of me reading this over the course of September. But one of the girls, while we were chatting for the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, she mentioned that it would be nice for us to have the picks a little earlier, so I'm going to start talking about the books that we're going to read a little earlier in the month and not quite as late, so people get a chance to pick up the book, whether from the library or buy it. So that is what we're doing today. The theme for the October book club is witches, but not always in the typical kind of way. You'll understand as we go through the book. So the whole point is I'm going to go through 5 books that go with this theme, and I'm dwindling it down to 2, and then it will be over to my patrons to choose which book we read for October. They'll have just a couple of days to choose, and then we'll read that book in October. So here are the choices. We could read Circe by Madeline Miller. So Circe is a figure in classical myth. Circe seduces Odysseus when he lands on her island where she's been banished in classical myth. In this book, we're following her whole story. We're following her from when she was young all the way to her being banished, and I believe probably meeting Odysseus as well. It sounds really wonderful, and she's meant to be a witch type figure, so we could read Circe. Next is The Familiars by Stacey Halls. This is a book about Fleetwood. It takes place in the 1600s. She is very much struggling to have a child. She's had multiple miscarriages. She's pregnant again, and she's overheard the doctor saying it's not going to work out. Either the baby's going to die or she's going to die. And so she decides to seek out a local midwife named Alice, who promises her, I will make sure that you are safe, I'll make sure the baby's safe. And so she trusts this woman. Soon after, Alice is accused of witchcraft, and it's up to Fleetwood to try and save her. It sounds really good. I read her other book, The Foundling, and then it's called The Lost Orphan here in the US and Canada. And I really enjoyed it, so we could read The Familiars. Next is Melmoth by Sarah Perry. This is the story of a woman named Helen and her friend named Carol. Carol stumbles upon this mysterious letter that's a bit of a confession, and within it, the letter talks about Melmoth, the witness, which is a curious, dark-robed figure who roams the globe, and I think inflicts like horrors on the people that she stalks. So she finds this letter, and then she goes missing, and it's up to Helen to figure out what's going on, and you learn about Melmoth, who is, I believe, a witch. I think so. I'm working with it. So we could read Melmoth. And then a book that is coming out in October, October 6th, is Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. This is the latest in her series. You don't have to read them in order. Like I read the rules of magic, and then I still haven't read Practical Magic, but this is essentially the origins of the Owens family. And Maria Owens lives in the 1600s. She is essentially saved as a little baby. She'd been abandoned, and this woman goes and saves her and sees magic within her. And she tells her, you must only love someone who will love you back. And then doesn't Maria Owens go and love someone who doesn't love her back? And there starts the curse on the Owens family that trickles down throughout many, many generations. Basically, all of the Owens family are hopeless when it comes to love. And the ones that they love are kind of cursed. So we could read magic lessons. So beautiful. And last but not least, we could read The Bass Rock by Evie Wyld. So in this book, you follow 3 women. One of them is a witch, or is accused of being a witch and is fleeing for her life. The second is Ruth, who lives during World War II. She is newly married and she's recently moved to this new community, and she's kind of trying to fit in and get acquainted. And then we follow a woman named Viv, who moves into Ruth's house and actually is going through Ruth's belongings. And it's about how men have imposed themselves on these women. It sounds really good. I've heard great things about Evie Wyld. So those are all of the books that I thought would work for this theme. And now I have to dwindle it down to 2, guys. This is not going to be easy because there's so many amazing books in the mix. Okay, so I've dwindled it down to 2. And now it's up to my patrons. Thank goodness. I hate choosing because they both look so good. We could either read The Familiars or we could read The Bass Rock. I think they look so good. I kind of like that they're both historical fiction following women who've been accused of witchcraft, but were they actually witches? Probably not. Probably just women just doing their like power empowerment thing and men hating on that. Anywho, these are the 2 that the book club has to choose from. Choose wisely. I'm excited. I would happily read either of those. So I'll put a poll up from my book club to choose, and I'll let you know what we end up reading for October in my October TBR. I hope that you guys are doing really well. If you want to join us, firstly, if you want to join us for Americanah, I mean, there's plenty of time. It's still September. And then if you want to join us for one of these or pick yourself, you can head on over to my Patreon. Hope you're doing well. I'll talk with you soon. Bye.